the checkered flag. He wins.
Back victories for Sam Bachman as he takes the win at the Port Royal Speedway.
Wins another one at the Knoxville Raceway. Blake Chapman wins.
A corner down here through the front straightaway. Watson gets the win here tonight.
Chad Greggs, a Knoxville Nationals champion. But to the checkered flag, Blake Christopherson, your winner at Lernerville. Here they come off of turn number 4. To the checkers, Templeton takes the win.
Through the back stretch into corners 3 and 4 out here. It's going to be Watson for the win.
The 56 wins. First time winner Randy Streets.
But your winner at Weedsport is going to be Brandon Templeton in the Salty Dog.
Precision is our language. Creativity is our weapon. And perfection is the only option. Your ride, your brand, your image, elevated to a level that can't be ignored. This isn't just a wrap, it's a revolution. Regal Wraps and Designs, where power meets style, and style becomes unforgettable. At Regal Wraps and Designs, we don't follow trends, we set them. Every line, every finish, every detail is built to dominate. From flawless vehicle wraps to bold custom designs, we take your vision and redefine it. Seamless statements, artful accents, hues of harmony. We are Regal Wraps and Designs.
All right, we're here from the Speedway. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay here as we are at Port Royal. Down here out of the corner, down that back straightaway here in practice right now. And hopefully we stay connected here okay. We were messing with internet once again last night, and we think we narrowed down the problem, and that'll get completely rectified come Friday. Now we watch him roll down through the front stretch. There's the number 35, Harold Klump, who gets into that inside wall. The 218 there of Kurt Schatzer. Got Andy Patton out here in the 7th position in that car number 87 here tonight. So just give me a moment here. We get started with qualifying. I've got an emergency call I got to take real fast. And got myself a drink as qualifying commences here at Port Royal. right, we're back here. Here is your starting grid here for heat number 1. That's going to be Randy Shreves out there in front. Dean Reynolds there second. Harold Clump there in third. Brandon Dittmer fourth. Terry Landis there fifth. And David Tomansky there in sixth. Heat number 1 gets underway. Good evening here, Brady King. Glad you could come out and join us here this wonderful Wednesday night here as we get started with our racing evening. Starting here with the Coast to Coast Racing Network and Racing League here at Port Royal. Start with the Pro Late Models. Then we'll move on to the 360 and then finally the midgets here at Coast to Coast. And then afterwards we got the Gen 4s with Freedom Motorsport Alliance, FMA. Out there in the corner number 1, out there in front is Dean Reynolds. As you see them coming down the back stretch there. Here comes the 83 to the inside of Shreves. Brandon Dittmer on that inside lane, going to pull it back up there in behind as they work down in the corner number 1. Now we see them head on out there, down in the corner. And they work on out there. Down there in the corner number 3 and 4 they go. Dean Reynolds underway out there in front. Randy Shreves there second. Brandon Dittmer there in third. Harold Clump there fourth. Terry Landis there fifth. David Tomansky there in sixth. We got final lap underway here. As you see, Dean Reynolds out there in front. Leading the way. Going to get the win here in the Pro Late Models. Down there through the front stretch. It is going to be Dean Reynolds getting the win here in heat number 1. That'll put him on pole for the main event here tonight. Here is your results for heat number 1. Dean Reynolds getting the win. I gotta wait for it to come back here. Dean Reynolds there out front getting the win. Randy Shreves in second. Brandon Dittmer third. Harold Clump there fourth. Terry Landis there fifth. David Domansky there in sixth. Now on to heat number 2. This will set your outside row of the main event. Pat Boyce will start there on pole in that number 41. Kurt Schatzer there in second. With Joe Halter there in third. Andy Patton there fourth. And William Richardson there in fifth. All right, here we go. On to the backstretch. 2 laps to green. And we get set and ready to rock and roll once again. 6 laps the distance here in heat number 2. Then we'll join both heats in the heat number 1 will be your inside. Heat number 2 here will be your outside row of your main event tonight. Sitting out here now onto the front straightaway. Green flag is ready as they come here off of turn 4. See them head down there into corner number 1 here with 5 laps to go. Great job by each driver. They head on out there. Down there, off of 4, down through the front stretch they go. Pat Boys out there in front. Kurt Schatzer there in 3rd. The 87 there, Andy Patton, running 2nd. Andy Patton, I really like that paint scheme there on that machine. That POW there on that for the, with the flag. Looks really great. 3 laps to go here in heat number 2. Pat Boys out front. Andy Patton 2nd. Kurt Schatzer there in 3rd. Joe Halter there 4th, but William Richardson in 5th. It sounds like we got ourselves a little echo with this here tonight as well. I'm unsure why. Oh well, we'll deal with it there. Not as bad as last night. We headed on out here. Look out, the 18 almost getting there to the back quarter panel of Pat Boys. That is Kurt Schatzer in that 218. Down there on the bottom side, once again, goes the 87 of Andy Patton, trying to keep a hold of that 2nd spot as they work down there in the corner number 3 and 4. Patton down there on the inside. Schatzer there in 2nd up there on the outside. Look out, here comes Joe Halter into the mix. He gets back up here. Great run there in heat number 2. Boys with your win. Schatzer there 2nd, Andy Patton there 3rd. There's your A&J Custom Creations hometown heroes here this Wednesday night. Now, here we go. Now, in the warm-ups, we'll go ahead and look at our Heat 2 finish. That will be Pat Boys getting the win. Kurt Schatzer there in 2nd. Andy Patton 3rd. Joe Halter there 4th. William Richardson in 5th. We'll be back after this short message.
These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday I got to turn laps in my modified here. was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, we're back here at the Speedway. Here is your starting grid. With Gene Reynolds there on pole, Pat Boyce there in second, Randy Shreve there third. Kurt Schatzer will roll off fourth tonight. Brandon Dittmer there fifth, Andy Patton sixth. Harold Klump there in seventh. Joe Halder there in eighth. Terry Landis in ninth. William Richardson there in 10th, and Devin Dominski rounds out there in 11th. That is your starting field as they roll it on out here. Green flag in the air, down the way they go in the corner number one. I just see them head out there. What a great run there by Reynolds as he gets out there to the main, up there onto the high side. 25 laps to go. Here they head on out in the corner number 3 and 4. Schatzer now trying to get through there onto the middle. He goes up there above the 83 of Brandon Dittmer down there in the corner number 1 and 2. The 83 Dittmer right there behind Schatzer. You got the 56 there battling beside Boyce. That is Randy Shreves trying to make something happen there on the bottom side as they work on out here. Great job here by these drivers. And we see Schatzer now underneath of Boyce. I see the 83 there, Dittmer involved as well. They roll it all around there out of turn number 4. Got him almost. Oh, hang on to it. We got one going a little wide there. That might be the 35 there of Harold Klump getting a little loose there. Up there on the high side, coming off of 4. And they work down through the backstretch. Now here goes Schatzer underneath of Shreves. Shreves now his company there with Dittmer. There we see Boyce has fallen back. Reynolds out front. Down there on the inside. Watching them all come off the corner. With the 56 now of Randy Shreves down there on the inside. Here comes the 83. Brandon Dittmer up there on the top side. Can't quite get there. They roll down here in the corner number 1. 20 laps to go here at Port Royal for the Pro Late Models from A&J Custom Creations here tonight for the Coast to Coast Hometown Heroes. You're watching here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network or over there at Flicker Farm TV as they head on down through the front stretch. Down back into corner number 1. 83 Dittmer looking underneath the Shreves. Could not quite get there. As you see Schatzer there in second. Got some space between him and Reynolds. Reynolds, great job up there on the high side. Has that thing hooked up very good. And him just kind of straight lining, coming there off turn number 4. Down there in the corner number 1. Everybody heads on out here. Once again, there you see Brandon Dittmer in that 83. He's trying to battle with Randy Shreves, who's coming there off the corner right now, down across the front straightaway. Looking there at Boyce, who's back there in fifth. The 83, Dittmer, he will get around Shreves, but Shreves going to try the undercut down the backstretch. Down here in the corner, number 3 and 4. There's him coming there. Oh boy, here comes the 29, making a great pass down there on the inside. He was getting a little loose there. And that is William Richardson. He's the number 24 on the scoreboard. And yeah, 161. Yoo-hoo! True machine driven by Terry Landis up there on the top side, getting up there to Andy Patton, who's driving that number 87 POW machine. Working there off the corner, you got the 22 there of Joe Halter as he works underneath William Richardson. 15 laps to go. Down there off corner number 4, down in the corner number 1. Head on out through. Great job by the drivers. Down through the backstretch. Tell you what, here comes the 22 of Joe Halter down there on the inside. Back up there on the outside, right on the nose of the 24 William Richardson. Now you're looking back there. Randy Shreves, he worked down through the backstretch. Joe Halter getting the better run there. And you watch him come there off turn number 4. That is Reynolds there in that purple number 79. They got 83. Brandon Dittmer there in second. Kurt Schatzer there in third. And they roll out down there off the backstretch. Brandon Dittmer there in second. Kurt Schatzer there third. Randy Shreves there fourth. Pat Boyce fifth right now. Again, this is race 1 of the 3 here at Coast to Coast tonight. Then we'll move over to strictly on the Flickerborn TV, home of Freedom Motorsport Alliance. And we get rocking and rolling with the Gen 4s there tonight. Hey, watch out down the backstretch. The 18 there, that 218 there. Brandon Dittmer up there on the high side. Down there off to the backstretch. Randy Shreves there in fourth. Pat Boyce there in fifth. And we're off the corner down through the front stretch. The 218 of Kurt Schatzer up there on the top side. Trying to chase down Dittmer. Dittmer gaining on Reynolds right now. As you see, Reynolds up there on the top side. As Schatzer now down there on the low side. He's trying to get underneath Brandon Dittmer, who's currently running second. 7 laps to go here tonight for the A&J Custom Creations Hometown Heroes. Currently watching the Pro Late Model as they go around here at Port Royal. Down there off the corner. And you see him working there. And look out here. Here comes Dittmer trying to get the lead. Over top of Reynolds. Cannot quite get there. He tries one more time here, getting that run up there on the top side. Reynolds way up there against that outside wall. Same with Dittmer. As you see the front 4 all up there along that top side. Working down there off corner number 2. Down there in through off the backstretch. And you got 218 there, Kurt Schatzer. Running there off the corner. Everybody does a great job keeping up with everything. And up down through, out of the corner. There you see that 218, Kurt Schatzer. He's running very well here. Man, you got him running off, down through, off the front stretch. Now down through the back stretch, got the 83 and Dittmer there in a second. Kurt Schatzer there third. Randy Shreves there fourth. Pat Boyce there in fifth, who's battling it out there. And Harold Clump falling back into seventh there. Dittmer up there gets the lead for the moment. 2 laps to go. Coming down there into corner number 3 and 4. Reynolds there in second. Now you watch him come there out of 4. Dittmer with the lead. Reynolds trying to see if he can get underneath. Coming down there into corner number 1. Could not quite get there. Dittmer into the outside wall. Look out. Reynolds gets into the back of Dittmer. Now Dittmer ended up into that outside wall. Here comes Reynolds now down underneath. He's going to try to get there. Cannot quite get it slid up there. Had to try to get out of the throttle a little bit. But there you see the finishing order with Brandon Dittmer. Your winner. Reynolds there in second. Schatzer there in third. Waiting on the results to come in here for your Pro Late models. Here is your finishing results for the Pro Late models. That is going to be Brandon Dittmer getting the win here tonight. Dean Reynolds there in second. Kurt Schatzer there third. Randy Shreves in fourth. Terry Landis there in fifth. Pat Boyce in sixth. Andy Pat in seventh. Joe Halter there in eighth. William Richardson in ninth. David Termansky there in 10th. Harold Clump in 11th. All right, there we go. There is your finishing order. Great job here in the Pro Late models. Now we get with your winners here. We got, no, that's not what I wanted. Kurt Schatzer getting the third place. See if we can get with our victory winners. Here we go. Get winner Kurt Schatzer. Good evening there, Kurt. How's it going?
Hey, man. How's it going?
It's going very well up here. How do you think that track felt?
Oh, man. Just trying to regroup here right now. My arms are pretty wore out. It was a fast-paced, nonstop race there. I believe that quick line was up along the wall there, and that cushion was kind of thinning out a little bit. And the car was just a tad bit tight in 3 and 4. I was really having a hard time there getting the car to do what I wanted to do and keep it out of the wall.
Well, you did a great job getting up there into third place. A lot of great battles taking place there tonight, and you came out with third, so should feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, just running for points here in limited late models, so just trying to play it conservative and bring home some decent finishes. And...
Oh, these are limiteds tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were pros.
Limiteds on Wednesdays and pros on Thursdays.
Ah, okay. Yeah, for some reason I thought they were pros here on Wednesdays.
Not pros are Thursday night, so anybody want to come out and run there, we get a couple more cars than we did tonight, so.
Well, I mean, yeah, still had a decent car count with 11 cars out there, and you came away again with that third place. You got sponsor shout-outs, anybody you want to thank for getting third?
Yeah, I got to thank the good Lord for everything he does for everyone, and Dirt Track Bank, Hammer Down Racing, Joe Halter, Braden Templeton, Brian Dickens, Mike Weeda, Got Your Six Racing Network, you doing the broadcast, coast to coast, everybody watching. Congratulate Dittmer on the win there. He was fast, and yeah.
Definitely a great job there, and I can't wait to see what goes on going forward. And I know next week here at Coast to Coast we have a very special week taking place, so hopefully you'll be out here for that, right, Kurt?
Oh yeah, definitely for a good cause there, Bill. He's done a lot for the league, keeping it going through all these years. So yeah, for everybody to come out and run one of those events, support a good cause, and yeah, gotta go get ready for work tomorrow. So I'm going to take off.
All right, so you're one and done here tonight?
Yep, I believe so.
All right, well, you have yourself a great night there, Kurt.
You too, bud. Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right, that was Kurt Schatzer, our third place finisher, and I will get with Dean Reynolds. Good evening there, Dean. How's it going?
It's going crappy. I didn't win.
You held on as long as you could, it seemed.
Yeah, but I said to Brandon, I go, I don't know what I did wrong. I had a 1.3 second lead. And something happened where I just wasn't doing something right. And they both closed right in on me, and I have no idea how or why. I'm trying to still figure it out, actually. I'm actually baffled because I stayed up top. I never lifted. I didn't change the way I was racing, and yet they both closed right in on me. So I got to figure out what I did and just learn from that. So, I mean, congrats to Brandon on a great win, awesome win, and Kurt, on a good third. And second week in a row, we went nonstop with limited late models, so that's really cool.
Yeah, I know. I've been goofing up here apparently on the broadcast calling these pro late models.
Yeah, no, these are limited. So the pros run on Thursday. You do the pros on Thursday.
Yes.
That's what you sponsor. So these are limiteds. And, Indy Patton, we ran on week 13 last year, we ran a limited late model race just to have the guys come and like them. And Andy Patton really had a ball. And we did a 30-lapper, I believe, at Oswego, and he had a ball, and he says, you know what? I want to do limited late models on Hometown Heroes. I mean, we had 358s, but we already do 358s twice.
Correct.
So, yeah, he said, let's do the limited late models. I'll sponsor them, and I'm like, I'm all for it. And, decent car counts, and the guys are having a lot of fun. And, second week in a row, we went nonstop. So, that's wicked cool.
Yeah, I mean, that is really great to see. I mean, you guys are definitely putting on the show there. And, Dean, I know you're kind of one of the head guys here at Coast to Coast right now. You want to kind of explain to the viewers what the next week might entail for Bill?
Yeah, so we're doing some Bill Calder tribute races. So the schedule basically remains the same, but the first race each night is going to be an extra distance race, and it's going to be a different division each night as well. So I believe the sprint cars are going to have an extra distance race. The 358s are going to have extra distance. Limited late models will have an extra distance. And I believe they got a street stock race as well. And take a look at the schedule there. I believe they start Sunday with street stocks. And they count for full points during the season, but they're also going to keep points of all the races, and they're going to have a champion for the 4 events where Andy's going to do a custom trophy, and there's going to be a little bit of money on the line. And but then after the long distance races, the schedule picks up and goes normal. So the second and third race of the night is going to be still the normal race. And so it's going to be a little bit of fun. There's no entry fee or anything like that, but donations are encouraged. And we'll have the PayPal link up on the website and the Facebook and Discord. And I already donated $25, and we encourage a lot of people. Bill's got a long road, and he's in the hospice right now, and there is bills to be paid. And the money's going to help out Bill and make his time that he's having right now just a little bit easier.
For sure. And if somebody can, for us here at Freeform TV, if they can send us those links for donations, we would promote them here as well.
Yes, and we'll get those up, and we'll have them up so we can do that. I just got back from Charlotte, North Carolina today, so I haven't had a lot of time to get a lot of stuff done, but we'll definitely get those up.
Alrighty, yeah. As soon as you do, Dean, I'd appreciate getting those links sent to me. Unfortunately, I know next Thursday I'm going to end up packing sausage for the Lions Club here in Butler, so I'm not going to be able to make the pro late models or the big block races that night.
Yeah, and Robert already said he'll fill in for you, so I think we're going to be good.
So can't wait to watch how that week goes on. Hopefully Bill still has I know he's still got a long road ahead of him, but good luck to him in his recovery.
Absolutely, and thank you again for doing the telecast. We had a lot of fun here, and thanks to Andy and AJ Custom Creations for sponsoring so you can do the broadcast. And again, congrats to Brandon Dittmer, a good friend of mine, and Kurt there on third, and we had a lot of fun there.
All right, well, you got any other sponsor shout-outs? Anybody you need to thank there, Dean?
Oh, we just got to thank the guys from FTM as well, and then also, I do have to thank my employer every now and then, Super Dirt Car Series, the World of Outlaws, and Dirt Vision. hopefully people get dirt vision subscriptions and enjoy watching the Outlaws and Super Dirt Car Series races and enjoy them from home. And if we come to your neighborhood or come to your area, get on out and go watch some racing live.
All righty. Well, if you're ever at Lernerville, let me know.
Absolutely. Well, we'll definitely be at Lernerville. I mean, not Lernerville, but we'll definitely be at Sharon next year, so that's not too far away either.
It's a little easier for me to get to Lernerville than it is to Sharon.
Well, come on, Adam, just do a little road trip.
Well, if I could drive, I would. That's part of the problem.
There you go. Yeah. So
Transportation's an issue.
Yeah, I hear you there. Yeah.
Well, good luck to you, Dean, and the 360s, I believe, are coming up next.
Yep, 360 sprints, and hopefully I get to talk to you again.
All righty, we'll see. Good luck.
All right, brother. Take care, man. Thank you again.
All right, that was Dean Reynolds there, our second place driver. Now we'll get with the 83 Brandon Ditmer. Good evening there, Brandon. How's it going?
Oh, I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, man. What a night there for you. Pretty much following there behind Dean most of the race, and then those last few laps, you just closed in and ended up going around him there with 2 to go.
Yeah, it was a really odd track. There wasn't much momentum to be had. You just had to hope the guy in front of you made a mistake. I tried to pass Dino there about 5 laps to go, I think it was, but I pulled off because I hated my entrance to turn 1, so just got back in line and hoped for a better shot, and luckily I got one.
Yeah, I know. He's trying to figure out what he did wrong to allow you guys both to close in on him.
I actually don't think he did anything wrong. I think I just had a couple more solid laps. Just seized the opportunity, I guess.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard. I mean, he might not have done anything wrong. It's just the way the track played out, and unfortunately, there is your leading. As you all know, it's hard to figure out where exactly that momentum line is because you're pretty much just going where you know is best. Where the guys behind you are usually trying different things.
In a lot of tracks that can be the case, but with this track, especially with those cars, the top side is almost always going to be dominant. You just got to make sure you keep your nose straight, and any sort of wiggle or get tight, got to let off. That loses a ton of momentum, so it's just you're playing mind games with yourself at that point, just trying not to screw up.
Alrighty, well, congrats on that win, and you got any sponsor shout-outs, anybody you want to thank?
Oh, just you for the broadcast, everybody behind the scenes for Coast to Coast, the new team, Venom Racing, all the great boys over there, and everybody up front for all the great racing. That was a lot of fun coming up through that pack.
Alrighty, well, congrats again, and we will see you. Are you coming out for the 360s?
Yes, I am.
Alrighty, well, good luck in that. We'll see you here coming up.
Thank you very much.
All right, Brandon Ditmer, our winner here in the limited late models. I know I kept calling them pro lates, but they're limited lates here on Wednesday nights. I got to get that through my apparently thick skull that I forget what they are. But we'll be back here in just a few moments. Thank you all for watching so far. We'll be back with the 360 Wing Sprint Cars here at Port Royal in just a few moments.
fans, it's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Right when we talked about it.
Outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, back here from the Speedway, we do have drivers out there getting a few laps of practice in here to start us off with the 360 wing sprints. It looks like we got about 14 drivers here lined up at the moment. You see their best times right now around the Speedway. Quickest one is Gavin Shaw with a 15.670. Hey, watch him work on down out there on the backstretch, up here into the outside wall, and whoa! One goes up and over, not sure who that might have been. I see Brad White there in that 5. Gavin Chatham is out there somewhere on the Speedway. Now, we want to thank everybody for coming out and joining us, whether it be at Coast to Coast Racing Network or over here at Pleager Farm TV. We definitely appreciate everybody coming out to watch. Now we get ready for the 360 wing sprint cars. We just were with the limited late models. Now we're here with the 360 wing. Now watch them come down there out of that back stretch. Checkered flag waves here in in practice, now on the qualifying for the 360 Wing Sprint cars. And this is the A&J Hometown Heroes, sponsored by A&J Custom Creations. Now you watch Brandon Templeton come out there on track first. I think he might have been the one that we saw take that leap of faith off the corner number 3 and 4. I work down that backstretch at 029. William Richardson up there and into the outside wall. That's going to be the tough part here tonight, I think, is who's going to keep it out of the wall. There's Dean Reynolds down there off the wall a little bit, coming there down the backstretch. Running through the middle of 3 and 4. Richardson with a black flag. Has to bring it back into the pits to go and clear it. Postly got caught speeding on pit road. Reynolds there right now with a 16.018. Gavin Shaw with a 15.840. Now looking here at Cale Bixler. Bixler has a 15.906. Chatham with a 15.644. Hey, Bixler there in that 789. Currently in for it. There you see William Richardson. He tries to set a better time after getting up into the outside fence and then getting caught speeding on pit road. Had to reset and come back. Now you watch him coming there out of turn number 4. That's the 161. Terry Landis in there. Yoo-hoo! Number 161. Down there off turn number 2. Down that back straightaway. In the corner number 3 and 4. Trying that line again. Got to keep it off that outside wall. Comes there off. That looked great. Down through the front stretch. Richardson with a 15.961. There's that number 29, William Richardson there in the 7. I'm sorry, that was a Landis we were watching. Landis with a 15.977. Qualifying ends. And heat number 1 comes up on grid. We'll have William Richardson there in front. Dean Reynolds there second. Randy Shreves there third. Gavin Chatham there in fourth. Andy Patton there fifth. Brandon Templeton sixth. Rick Main there in seventh. Stephen Bixler there in eighth. All right, that is your heat number 1. Getting set to rock and roll here with the 360 Sprint. Now you see them all getting lined up here. You see the FTM number 99 there at the bottom of your screen. That's being driven by Gavin Chatham. He was your fastest one in qualifying. Was also your fastest in practice. Game all work there off corner number 1, heading into 2. Out there, heading on to that backstretch. Dean Reynolds out front, up there on the high side. He is in second, and we got William Richardson taking on the pole here in heat number 1. We'll see if that plays out for him or not. We head on out through and down there onto the backstretch. Through turn 3 and 4. Side by side, Fred's got that pace car pulled off. Down there into turn number 3 and 4. 6 laps of distance. Green flag. Here we go. Down there in the corner number 1. Side by side they go. Up there on the top side, that is Randy Shreves. They're in second. Dean Reynolds there third. Down through the back stretch up there on that top side. Coming there off and trying to find his way is Dean Reynolds. As you see, you got the 99 at Chatham working down there on the bottom side now. Reynolds trying to get around Richardson. Is all over the back of Richardson. Now he gets something. He's got a gap down there as Richardson's all kind of loose. Down there off the turn number 4. Back down there as you watch him coming there off turn number 2. Back out there onto the back straightaway. Here with heat number 1 of the 360 wing sprint cars. As they bring it on turn number 4. There you're looking at the number 029, William Richardson. Trying to work there off turn number 2. Dean Reynolds there in third. Gavin Chatham there in second with Randy Shreves in third. And oh no, problems in the heat race. Bixler and Richardson getting together. Now watch them come down off turn number 2. And whoa, Chatham had to check up a moment. Now he's up there along that outside lane. Really got problems. And it's going to be Shreves getting the win here in the heat number 1. Holding off Chatham. Dean Reynolds there third. Waiting on the official results to come in. All right, here is your Heat 1 results. That's going to be Randy Shreves getting the win. Gavin Chatham there second. Dean Reynolds third. Brandon Templeton there fourth. Rick Main there fifth. Andy Patton sixth. William Richardson there in seventh with Stephen Bixler in eighth. All right, in Heat number 2, this is your lineup. Terry Landis out there in front. Brandon Dittler there in second. Cale Bixler in third. Gavin Shaw fourth. Brad Waite there in fifth. Pat Boyd there in sixth, and David Trumansky in seventh. So once again, heat number 1 will set the inside row. Heat number 2, as you're watching right now, will set the outside row. I work down there in the corner number 3 and 4. Landis out there on the bottom side as your control car. How we said, 6 laps the distance. There you watch him come down there in the corner number 1. Terry Landis out front. Brandon Dittmer there second. Cal Bixler there third. Gavin Shaw there in fourth as they roll it on out there. In front is at 161 of Landis. Hey, watch. There goes Fred off the track in that pace machine. Going up there and getting ready for the start of the race. Coming off corner number 2. No, I'm sorry, corner number 4. Down the front straightaway, green flag in the air. They are down and away in the corner number 1. I see Terry Landis there on the bottom side, getting out there to a great start. But look out, Dan Dittmer under fire from Bixler as Shaw is back here, battling with the 710. Or I'm sorry, battling in the 710 there with the 10. Brad Waite. Now you see Kel Bixler. He's working in amongst all that mess. He is underneath the 83 of Dittmer. Landis out there now. He's trying to hang on there to the bottom side. Working there through off turn 3 and 4. Trying to get that bottom side to work. About 4 laps to go here in heat number 2. Up there to the top side, that is the 83 Brandon Dittmer. Everybody's working at top. For the most part, except for our leader down there, who's working that bottom side. So Landis working that bottom. He stays out front. 3 laps to go. Now you watch them all come out of turn number 4 now. Landis again on that bottom side as everybody else up there on the top side. As you saw, Dittmer is up there. He's got 2 laps to go. Off corner number 2 down that back straightaway. And we got trouble. That's Cale Bixler having issues. And now, final lap. Terry Landis out there in front. Brandon Dittmer there in second. Gavin Shaw there in third. Brad Waite also involved there with Bixler as they end up coming down there in the corner number 3 and 4 for the final time here in heat number 2. Terry Landis gets the win with Brandon Dittmer there second. Gavin Shaw will roll off there and get third here in heat number 2. Waiting on heat number 2 results. All right, heat number 2 results are in. Here they are. Terry Landis gets the win. Brandon Dittmer there second. Gavin Shaw third. Pat Boyce there in fourth, but David Tormansky in fifth. Cale Bixler in sixth. Brad Waite there in seventh. All right. We'll be back after these warm-up messages with more racing here at Port Royal.
These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and it got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, back here at the Speedway, we have here the 360 Wing Sprints main event. Randy Shreves gets the pole here out front. Terry Landis in second. Gavin Chatham there in third. Brandon Dittmer there fourth. Dean Reynolds rolls off fifth tonight. Gavin Shaw in sixth. Brandon Templeton rolls off there in seventh. Pat Boyce in eighth. As then we got Brandon Templeton there in seventh. Pat Boyce in eighth. Rick Main there in ninth. David Termansky there in 10th. Andy Patton 11th. Cale Bixler back there in 12th. In 13th tonight, that's going to be starting the 029 of William Richardson. In 14th, Brad Waite and Stephen Bixler there in 15th. Thank you again to everybody that's tuned in to either Coast to Coast Racing Network or Flicker Farm TV. That we head on out down through the front stretch. Terry Landis out there in second. Randy Shreves out there in front. Gavin Chatham there third. Brandon Dittmer there fourth. Pace cars off. We're getting ready for the start of the race. About to go. Green flag racing. 25 laps the distance. They come off corner number 4. Down the front straightaway. Pace cars in. They're down and away. Here we go. Randy Shreves out there in front. Gets passed by Chatham. Chatham now out there to the lead. As now Shreves fights back out there on the outside. Landis now trying to go through the middle of the corner. Gets caught up there. He tries to work back towards the bottom side. Back up there on top. Down there in the corner number 1. Look out. There comes the 31. Brandon Templeton down there on the bottom side. The 83 there, Brandon Dittmer seemed a little loose as he gets so close down there to Landis. They work there off turn number 4. Here comes Chatham. Chatham still trying to get around Shreves. As they work down there around off up 1 and 2. It looks like that mid to low line might be working with some of these drivers out there. We see Shreves up there along the top side. Now Chatham, he's going to dive low, and we got a caution out there. We got a pileup. Dean Reynolds involved now. Landis involved. Dittmer involved. Along with Templeton. See here who all we got. Look like Brandon Dittmer, Brandon Templeton, Terry Landis involved. I know Dean Reynolds got caught up there towards the end of it. I watch him come there to turn 3 and 4. There we go down the backstretch right now, heading there into corner number 3. And see him come there, and it looks like Dittmer ends up getting into the back of Landis, and Reynolds nowhere to go as Templeton comes back down on all 4. The 83 there of Dittmer rolls it on the pit road. Getting ready up there in the start. Dittmer out there, or down in the pits right now. Shreves as your leader. Chatham there in second. Rick Main there in third. Gavin Shaw there fourth. Pace car pulls off. Here, we're back ready to go. Back green flag racing. They head on out there through turn number 3 and 4. Down there, off the start they go. Down through the front stretch. Randy Shreves out front. Gavin Chatham there in second. Rick Main there in third. Gavin Shaw in fourth. Cal Bixler there fifth. Andy Patton sixth. Everybody gets up to a wonderful start here. Heading there into the corner. Caution flag. Back out. William Richardson. Alright, Richardson up there on the top side. Ends up getting clipped there by Dean Reynolds as he ended up getting spun around there. Gets flipped around. What a tumble there, but gets it rolling. They're back underneath caution here. You see William Richardson down there in the pits. Dean Reynolds in the pits. Trying to figure out who the other one is as well. That's the 33 there. That's the 313. Is that the 313 maybe? That is. That's the 313. David Tomansky. So Shreves still out there in front. 22 laps to go. And head off corner number 4. Trying to get lined back up here. Looks like possible single foul. As lights go out on the pace machine. Nope, it is going to be double foul. Everybody gets lined up. Shreves takes the top lane. Chatham down there on the inside lane. Leader has lane choice. They're down and away. Down here in the corner number 1. Shreves out there in front. Great job so far. We watch him roll off turn number 2. You're back here looking at the 710 of Gavin Shaw. He works his way off corner number 4. Everybody hanging in there. Up there, 3 wide, coming off turn number 4. That's the 31 there. Just lost it. That is the 31 there. Of Templeton. Down here on the inside. Templeton 1 lap down. As they work down there in the corner number 1 and 2. Phase 75 there of Stephen Bixler. Got the 710 up there as well. Somebody disappeared for a moment. Roll down through the front stretch. Trying to keep a tab on the excitement. As you see the 83 into that outside wall here at Port Royal. Down here in the corner number 3 and 4. Come up off. 17 laps to go now for the 360 wing sprints. Here at Port Royal. Down there off of 2. Down in the corner number 3 and 4. Shreves out front. Chatham there in second. Main there in third with Andy Patton. There in fourth. Brady Dittmer there fifth. They seem to be getting better control here. They foul out here with Shreves, as we said, as your leader. Chatham trying to chase him down. I see them battling there first and second. Coming there off corner number 2. Chatham right there can get there, but can't quite get the momentum. There you see Shreves down there. Comes down the track a little bit. That might give, and no, he's going to squeeze Chatham up there to the outside wall. Chatham's up there way against there. He gets such a run off these corners in that 99 that Shreves just has to try to find that momentum himself. As there we have caution once again. Shreve still hangs on. 13 laps to go. This one for Brandon Templeton and Brandon Dittmer. There you see him coming there off the corner. He's watching of the 83 there of Dittmer. Up into the outside wall, comes down in front of the 710, ends up spun around there. And try to get rolling once again. Unsure what might have happened there to Templeton. Hey, up there on the top side. There it is. All right. Coming in upside down once again on the backstretch. Once again, taking a tow. Shreve, still your leader. Chatham there in second. Here with the A&J Custom Creations, Hometown Heroes, 360 Wing Sprint Car Division. Light still on that pace machine, and they come down through the front stretch. 14 laps to go. Yeah, you roll them on out through turn number 1 and 2. Light is off on that machine for pace vehicle. 14 laps to go. Spread will pull up and field over to Randy Shreves, who has a mirror full, or a bumper full of Gavin Chatham. I'm sorry, I could be saying mirror, and very well could have a mirror full if Shreves is running that virtual mirror. They run down through the front straightaway into corner number 1. Chatham back up there to the high side. Shreves down there through the middle, trying just to hang on. As Chatham is banging that right rear off of the outside wall, it seems. And watch him come there out of turn number 4. Shreves out front. 12 laps to go. Shreves running the middle line. Can't get the momentum that he needs off of there, though, that I can tell, as Chatham is doing such a great job running at high side. Up off of corner number 4. Chatham is still making up time. Up there on that top side. Question is, though, he can get beside, but then has to back off, but he doesn't want to wreck Shreves. But he wants to get around Shreves, so he's got to really try to finesse that machine around the corner. There he got to the inside as Shreves gets loose. That's going to also allow Maine to get up there into the mix, as now Maine gets up there in the 3rd position. Right underneath a Shreves. Now he's going to try to get back up there to the high side. He closed that gap back down there off the bottom. It's going to be Maine taking over 2nd place. And now here comes Shreves back one to the bottom again. Trying to do a crossover. Can't quite get it to complete. Down that back straightaway, 9 laps to go here at Port Royal. In the corner, number 4, and down through the front straightaway. Chatham as your leader. He qualified on the pole, ended up starting 4th in the heat because of the invert, and then down through the backstretch. He's got the lead once again here, and the main event coming there off of corner number 4. Chatham just has that outside lane figured out here. And up there against it and running that cushion. I mean, man, oh man, does he have a great job going on there. Now we see that 80 or that 187 there of Rick Maine trying to just chase along there. Shreves there in 3rd. We got Andy Patton back here in 4th. Come up through the field. Great job. 6 laps to go. And we have another caution on the speedway. This time, most likely going to be Brandon Dittmer. Here, Brandon Dittmer or Cale Bixler. And Cale Bixler here in the 789. Man, oh man, did he take a tumble here. Off turn number 2. Here we watch him come there off turn number 2. Gets caught there with the 29. Richardson, and Cale Bixler takes a wild ride down that back straightaway. End over end, side over side. And takes that winglet, or takes the wing sprint, turns it into a wingless sprint. Hopefully he's not in VR, because that would be one heck of a ride to take in VR. That screen constantly flipping and tumbling. Sitting there and one moment looking at the racetrack, next minute looking at the sky. Him all lined up, single file again. Pace cars, lights are off. We're getting back green flag racing once again. All right, here we go. Off corner number 4. Green flags back in the air. They're down and away. Chatham, your leader. Maine there in second. Shreves there in third. With 6 laps to go here in the 360 wing sprint car division. Down through the back straightaway into corner number 3 and 4. As they're up there on that high side, Chatham. Then we got Maine. Randy Shreves there in third. Andy Patton there in fourth. Down there in the corner number 1 and 2, back up off of there. Now we have them coming down the back stretch. In the 3 and 4, 5 laps to go. Chatham out there. Now he's come down off the wall a little bit. You got a couple of them still trying to ride that high side. Chatham now back up there through turn 1 and 2. See the sparks coming off of that machine as he's up there against that outside wall. Gonna try to run it again through 3 and 4. Real fine line, it seems, to run up there on the outside without getting into that wall. I see that 187 of Rick Baines trying to do it, cannot quite get there. 3 laps to go here in the 360 wing sprint cars for the A&J Custom Creations Hometown Heroes. Coming down through the front stretch into corner number 1. Up there on the high side. That is the 187 of Rick Bain. Chatham's out there in front. Shreves there in third. Patton there fourth. Waite there in fifth. Final lap for Chatham as he works there through turn 1 and 2. Rick down there on the inside. Now we watch Chatham come across the line, coming there out of turn number 4. Up there against that outside lane. Gavin Chatham gets the win here at Port Royal for the 360 wing sprint car division from A&J Custom Creations. Great job there for Gavin Chatham getting the win. All right, here we go. Now we gotta get with our winners here. But first, let's go and see our final results. We got Gavin Chatham getting the win. Rick Bain there in second. Randy Shreves there third. Dean Reynolds there fourth. Brad White there in fifth. Stephen Mixler there in sixth. Terry Landis there in seventh. Pat Boyce in eighth. Gavin Shaw in ninth. David Terminsky there in 10th. Andy Patton there 11th. William Richardson there in 12th. Kel Bixler there 13th. Brandon Dittmer there 14th. Brandon Templeton in 15th. All right. Great job there so far tonight. Now we get with our winners. All right, Randy Shreves, our third place finisher. Waiting on him to show up here. They want to come talk to us. All right, we'll figure out who we got here. Good evening. Who do we have here?
You got Randy.
Ah, I did get Randy. Okay. You and Rick Main both have the same exact name on Discord here for me, so it's hard for me to distinguish who was who. You both have an R with 3 dots following it. So I was like, okay, well, let's hope we pull out the right one. Randy, how's it going? You got 3rd place here tonight.
Yeah, not quite where I wanted to finish, but yeah, I kind of screwed up there, got into the wall, messed up the car a little bit, and gave away a couple of positions, but I mean, finishing on the podium, I can't complain. Hopefully next week will go a little better.
Well, it didn't seem like there was too much room for error up there on that top side.
Yeah, that top, it was a little weird this time. Normally you can just kind of smash the gas and get around there, and I don't know, it was just real bumpy up there and hard to control the car, so I just kind of kept it in the middle there and just dealt with what I had.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching sparks fly off of both, Gavin Chatham and Rick Main as they worked through the corners. I mean, because they were way up there against that outside wall trying to get that thing hooked up there.
Yeah, and that's definitely a tricky thing to do, especially here. That wall can definitely suck you up and end your night real quick. But yeah, hats off to them guys for sticking it up there and finishing where they did.
Well, congrats to you as well for finishing there on the podium. There in 3rd place. You got sponsor shout-outs. Anybody you want to thank for 3rd place?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely want to thank Coast to Coast for all they do. You for the broadcast. A&J Custom Creations for sponsoring this thing. My buddy Mike McCoy, my boss Jeff Spain, his wife, his whole family. My son Dylan Shreves for painting my car. My son Jaden. And everybody for watching.
All right. Well, congrats again on 3rd place. And are you coming out for midgets at all, or are you done for the night?
Yeah, I'll be out there for the midgets.
All righty. Well, good luck. We look forward to watching.
Thanks, Adam.
All right, that was Randy Shreves. Now we'll get with Rick Main. Good evening, Rick. How's it going?
Great, man. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, man. Great job up there. I mean, you picked off 2nd place tonight. Could you be... Are you happy with your finish? I guess what I should ask.
Yeah, I mean, I missed qualifying. I was in the shower, and I had to start from the rear of the heat. Got a couple spots there, and had to come, middle pack, I'd say, trying to come up through the field. And yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy. I don't run amazing at port, and it was pretty treacherous there on the top. I don't think I had anything for Gavin. That's what we were just talking about. I think he was a little better on the throttle up there, and I was a little too hammered down and just was dancing too much off the corners.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like it was such a fine line you had to try to run at the top side.
Yeah, I mean, it always is here. It's super easy to jump the car off of 4 or get squarely down the backstretch and, kill the guy on the inside. So, yeah, I mean, he just ran a better race tonight than I did, that's for sure.
Great job. You got any sponsors, shout-outs, anybody you want to thank there for getting 2nd?
Yeah, just all my guys at, RMDB, SimWorks, our team, we work hard together, and, all the guys at RTB, this is a fixed race, but they keep us rolling on all the open stuff, and, you can use the code RMDB for discount on the RTB sets. My guys at Highline Cinematography, Chase at JRB Designs, he keeps, my paint's looking great. And, just all you guys here at C2C and the broadcast for putting it on for us.
All right, well, congrats there tonight, getting that up there in the 2nd place. Can't wait to see what you have going forward. Are you coming out for the midgets?
I can't drive a midget.
All righty, well, have yourself a great night there, Rick, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, buddy, I'll talk to you later.
All right, that was Rick Main there, our 2nd place finisher. Now we'll get with Gavin Chatham. Good evening there, Gavin. How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going fairly well, man. probably couldn't ask for a car to hook up better up there at the top side, could you?
No, I couldn't. It was really rolling pretty good up there. And that's what you got to do at Port Royal to be fast. And I was just talking to Randy, actually. He did a hell of a job there running the middle, and he was definitely making some speed there. And he just made one little mistake there coming off 4 and tapped the wall, and I was able to get by him and clear him, and it was smooth sailing from there. But no, hats off to Randy and Rick there, both excellent race car drivers, and we had a heck of a battle up there. But yeah, no, the top was rolling really good. It took a little bit to get it come in. So Randy, like Rentley said, Randy was doing a really good job there in the middle. And then once it got rolling, the momentum, and then towards the end of the race, there was starting to get a little bit rough, and it was getting a little harder to control up there. And you know, I almost junked it about once or twice, but good thing we did it, and we're sitting in victory lane at Port Royal tonight, so that's pretty awesome.
Well, yeah, you really did a great job getting that 360 up there into that victory spot, and I know you were flirting with danger quite a bit up there.
Yeah, that's what you have to do in these cars, and you know that's what's fast is you're on the edge every single lap of being over the edge or you're really fast. So we're definitely letting it hang out there, and we you know luckily it worked out for us tonight, and been bitten plenty of times by it as well. So but no, yeah, the car was really awesome there, and it's always fun to come back to Port Royal and obviously getting a win at a PA track, being from Pennsylvania as well. Keep it in the posse.
Alrighty. Well, I know I'm from PA too, only being 15 minutes from Lernerville, so yeah, always fun. Port Royal is that one track that I seem to always forget about being in PA.
It's in there, but it's a heck of a racetrack. It's a heck of a town, and it's always fun to go up there. I usually make an annual trip to Tuscarora 50 up there, so it's a great track, and it's always a lot of fun. So it's definitely glad it's in Pennsylvania and nowhere else.
Alrighty, well, congrats again on getting that win. You got sponsor shout-outs. Anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I just want to thank you for doing an awesome job with the broadcast. I want to thank Coast to Coast Racing, all the admin, all the sponsors, AJ Custom Creations on the Hometown Heroes sponsorships for Wednesday night. I just want to thank the FTM Full Throttle Motorsports, Mike Schick Motorsports Design, Velocity Race Design, Northeast Outlaw Motorsports, Chatham Motorsports, Super Dirt Car Series, Swan Speed Shops, TPR, Tanner Pettit Setups. I just want to thank all the sponsors, all the help. I just want to thank the fans for coming out and watch these races. I hope we put on a good show for you all tonight, and I just want to thank my fans as well for always taking the time to watch the races and supporting.
Alrighty, well, congrats again, and are you done for the night, or are you going to come out and try your hand at the midgets?
I don't do very well in midgets, but we got a big sprint car race over in Regal at Weedsport, so we're gonna get in the truck and trailer and truck up to Weedsport here and do a little 360 there, and hopefully we duplicate the results that we had here tonight.
Alrighty, well, good luck to you.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate it. Have a good one.
You too there, Gavin. So that was Gavin, our winner here in the 360s from Port Royal tonight. Thank you all for watching here so far. We will be back with the midgets here after this break, so don't go anywhere. We got more racing coming up.
it's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get...
Tonight we'll be talking about it.
Outpouring of love. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. In the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, we're here at Weedsport now for the midgets. Hey, see them coming there off down through that backstretch. That is Terry Landis, Brandon Templeton out there in front. Bixler there in third as your third fastest right now. We see them all coming out here. Got about 10 drivers here in the lineup as it stands right now. I got there off turn number 4. Warm-ups or practice has just come to an end. We're getting ready here for qualifying. Qualifying underway. We'll see who comes out first. Hey, see there, the 79 of Cale Bixler comes out. Whoa, little hard on the throttle, it seemed, that he got a little bit sideways. Had to get it under control. Now I'll get it under control down here in the corner number 1. Loops it around here into the backstretch. And here comes Terry Landis out as well. He works out here into corner number 1 and 2 down that back straightaway. There's Stephen Bixler out there as well. Everybody out making their qualifying time, and you're currently watching Landis. There is Templeton in that number 31. Dirt Track Bank Machine with a 15.260. Jack Hit with a 15.379. Bixler with a 15.734. Bixler now comes in with a 15.425. Boyce with a 15.518. Trees with a 15.571. Landis jumps up there in the second with a 15.289. There you see Brad White in that iRacing machine. He's going to have a 15.865. More there in with a 15.606. Everybody's qualified. There you'll see the SBS machine of Dittmer. They'll come off the corner. There's the Hooters machine of Jack Hit. That number 217 down that back straightaway. And out in through 3 and 4. Gotta try to keep these things under control. These cars are definitely a handful to some people, but they are a blast. If you can figure out how to handle them, they are a blast to run. There you watch them come down there out of turn number 3 and into 4. Down there across the front, straight away, down across the stripe. Flag has waved here in the qualifying. Now we'll get with our grid. And here's your starting grid here tonight for the heat race. Stephen Bixler taking pole. Jack Hit there in second. Terry Landis there third. Brandon Templeton is starting fourth. He was your fastest there out front. Pat Boyce there fifth. Brandon Dittmer there sixth. Randy Shreves there seventh. Stephen Moore there in eighth. Cale Bixler there in ninth. Brad Waite there in 10th. Team coming there off turn number 4. 6 laps is the distance, I should say. Jack Hit out there, green. They're down and away in the corner number 1 as they slide it up there. And hang on, Templeton's getting shuffled back and they work there off turn number 2 down through the back straightaway. They're through turn 3 and 4, back out onto the front stretch. Down through, under the flag stand, there you see Landis working down there on the bottom side as they work through 1 and 2. We got one up there into the outside wall at the moment. Somebody takes a big header there. Down the back straightaway, another one as well. We see Dittmer having issues, Bixler as well. Now you watch him come out of turn number 2 down that back straightaway. And out here in the corner number 4. Stephen Bixler there in 4th. Templeton there in 5th. Cale Bixler, he's back here in 10th after coming and having issues. 3 laps to go as they work down in the corner number 3. Jack Hit out front. Terry Landis 2nd. Templeton there 3rd. Bixler 4th. Pat Boyce there 5th. 2 laps to go now. Now we got Jack Hit up there in front. Terry Landis there 2nd. Brendan Templeton there 3rd. Bixler there in 4th. Pat Boyce there 5th. Randy Shreves there 6th. Brad Waite there in 7th. Stephen Moore there in 8th. They work there off turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Jack Hit up there in front. Templeton now takes over 2nd place. Getting underneath Landis. Can't quite get it completed, though, as Landis now comes there in the second. Over top of Templeton, and that is B how they finish. Your heat results soon to be in. Here's your heat results. Jack Hitt, Brandon Templeton, Terry Landis. Your top three. Stephen Bixler, they're in fourth. Pat Boyce, they're in fifth. Brad White, they're sixth. Randy Shreve, they're seventh. Steve Amara, they're in eighth. Brandon Dittmer, they're in ninth. Cale Bixler, that gear in 10th. All right, we'll be back after this very short message from our sponsor.
Precision is our language. Creativity is our weapon. And perfection is the only option. Your ride, your brand, your image, elevated to a level that can't be ignored. This isn't just a wrap, it's a revolution. Regal Wraps and Designs, where power meets style, and style becomes unforgettable. At Regal Wraps and Designs, we don't follow trends, we set them. Every line, every finish, every detail is built to dominate. From flawless vehicle wraps to bold custom designs, we take your vision and redefine it. Seamless statements, artful accents, hues of harmony. We are Regal Wraps and Designs.
All right, back here at the Speedway, as warm-ups are still taking place. We got 30 seconds of warm-ups left. Drivers still trying to get control of these cars. They are a little bit wild out there. Hope everybody's enjoyed the racing here at Coast to Coast Racing Network. As well as possibly over there at Legal Farm TV if you tuned in over there. Again, here at Coast to Coast Racing League, next week is a big week as we give a shout out to Bill. Let me make sure I get the last name right. Bill Calder. Big event for that next week. Again, just a big shout out for everything he's done here. And we'll have a possible donation link as well come next week. And we'll play that through all Legal Farm TV's broadcasts, whether it be Coast to Coast or not. We'll go ahead and make sure that we promote that okay. We are here ready with your main show here for the midgets. This is the Regal Wraps midgets. Jack Hitt getting the start out there in first. Brandon Templeton there in second. Terry Landis third. Stephen Bixler there fourth. Pat Boyce will roll off fifth tonight. Brad White there in sixth. Randy Shreves there seventh. Stephen Amara there in eighth. Brandon Dittmer there ninth. Cale Bixler there 10th. And I'm sorry, Stephen Bixler is starting fourth. So I don't know why. Sorry, my eyes go crazy. Head on down there out of corner number 1. Heading down there in the 2. I watch him come out of corner number 4. Pace car pulls off. We're green flag racing here at Weedsport for the midgets as we go 25 laps down here in the corner number 1. Already down there on the inside wall goes Jack Hitt. Landis now comes out there to get the lead. Now you watch him come down here out of corner number 4, down there across start finish line. Landis out front. Templeton there second. Jack Hitt there third. Stephen Bixler there fourth. Pat Boyce there fifth. Stephen Moore there now in fifth. He works around them. Coming down there through off the corner. Jack Hitt there in third. Trying to work that bottom side underneath the Templeton. There's watch there. You see that Gas Monkey sponsor machine up there. That is the 75 of Stephen Bixler. Kel Bixler back here at the back, just trying to make sure he's got a handle on the machine. Working there off corner number 3 and 4. Brandon Dittmer out there in 5th. Randy Shreves there 6th. Pat Boyce there in 7th. Watch coming off the corner down there in the 3 and 4. Head on out there, down there on the bottom side. That is Stephen Moore there in the 888. Working down there in the corner number 1. That's the 41 there, Pat Boyce. Brandon Templeton out front as Jack Hitt is running there in 2nd. Stephen Bixler back there in 3rd. Brandon Dittmer in 4th. We have Terry Landis has crashed. I wonder what happened there. All of a sudden, Landis wasn't up there. We'll see here what happened to Landis. He gets coming through off of turn number 4. Down here in the corner number 1. And slides it around, brings it all the way up and into that outside wall and goes for a ride. Oh, first caution here for the midgets. Brandon Templeton as your leader out front. You see Pat Boyce back here in 6th. 21 laps, the distance left to go. Boy, oh boy, what a night of racing it's been so far. Hey, watch, Randy Shreves up there on the top side. Brandon Dittmer there and a 4th. Let us know who you're cheering on for, whether at Coast to Coast or over at Fleeter One TV. Let us know who your favorite driver is. Let us know who you're cheering on here tonight. Let them drivers know that they are being watched. Let them know that they have fans out there. Right there off turn number 4. Green flag back in the air. 21 laps to go as they work down here in the corner number 1. 20 laps to go, rather. As Jack Hitt has issues as he falls backwards through the pack. Now he's got it gathered back up down there in the corner number 3 and 4. Back down through the front stretch. Looking there at Brandon Dittmer as he works underneath of the 56 of Randy Shreves. Pat Boyce there in 5th. They work on down through off at corner number 3 in the 4. Back onto the front stretch. Everybody's trying to find that momentum line. Jack Hitt working his way back up through the field down there on the bottom. You see that Hooters machine, that 217, working his way up. Pat Boyce there in the 41. Jack Hitt coming bare on the bottom side. Trying to make sure he doesn't catch that inside wall because that would be very, very difficult to overcome there. They come down through the back stretch. Terry Landis a lap down from what I can see. Yes, Terry Landis a lap down. Sorry that the gap wasn't set right. Caution is out. Jack hit. Oh, Jack hit there. On the bottom side, they come there, and there's the caution. Trying to figure out who that was. That might have been Brandon Waite. There, come down the back stretch. We're trying to see who went in there for a tumble. And yeah, it is Jack Waite. Up and over. Coming here through turn 3 and 4. He'll get it back under control. And get rolling. Jack Hit is in the pits. And he's back out on track. Ahead of the pace car, Bixler there in third. Randy Shreves in fourth. Jack Hit racing around here to get cut back up to the end of the field. One lap to green, if I'm looking at things correctly. Yes, one lap to green. They're side by side. 15 laps to go here for the midgets. Brandon Templeton out there in front. Stephen Bixler there second. Randy Shreves there third. Dittmer there in fourth. Pat Boyce there fifth. Stephen Moore there in sixth. Cale Bixler there in seventh. Brad Waite there in eighth. Jack Hit there in 10th. Up off the corner they go. Down there in the corner number 3 and 4. Back down there. Brandon Templeton out front. Shreves there second. Bixler there in third. Dittmer, he's trying his hand at it there in that 83. Trying to get up underneath. Bixler there and for that third position. 14 laps to go. I would see Dittmer takes over, and now he's up and he's over. Caution back out. Or not. He'll back it up out of the way. There's the caution. Dittmer having issues. And he got in that outside wall. He got around Bixler okay. But Dittmer then ended up too high and picked it up right into that outside wall. Around he went, gets caught there by the 789 of Cale Bixler. Green flags back out. They're down the way into corner number 1 again. Headed on out here. Great job as they slide it up there towards the outside wall. Down there through the front, or through the backstretch rather, into corner number 3. Templeton out front, Shreves there second, Pat Boyce there third. And that is it. There comes Pat Boyce into the picture there underneath Randy Shreves. Landis there in fourth after his problems there towards the start. Getting back up here towards the top as well. And we got 10 laps to go. Templeton down there against that inside wall. Same with Landis. Now you watch Shreves up there towards the top side. These drivers trying to find all that little bit of momentum they can, all that little bit of a grip that possibly can help propel them forward. Here with 9 laps to go. And one thing with these cars, it is a very controlled slide you're trying to control through these corners. And they see them counter steering quite a bit there as those wheels are turned to the right. But the car is actually turning left. Now we got 8 laps to go now here at Weedsport down there out of corner number 3. In the 4, Templeton still up front. Shreves here in second. As you see the battle with third and fourth, Pat Boyce and Terry Landis. Back here, Landis gets to the bottom, looking there underneath a Boyce. Making a pass. There as Boyce is up there on the high side. Landis now gets there in the third. Templeton in front, leading the way. 6 laps to go here at Weedsport. As they head on down there through the backstretch. Landis now in second, trying to chase down Shreves. And oh no, Templeton goes for a heck of a ride up there on the top side, leading the race. And it goes from leading to crashed. That's just how quickly things can happen here in these midgets. Now we watch Templeton up there towards the front. He had quite the lead over top of second there. As him coming there through 3 and 4, gets picked up and thrown like a rag doll in that midget. Oh, another caution underway here. So I'll move Shreves up to the lead. Landis there in second. Pat Boyce there third. Templeton in the pits. 6 laps to go. Tough break there for Templeton. Had such a great race going. And all of a sudden ends up wrecked out there. Coming there out of corner number 4, which we've seen that corner take a lot of drivers tonight. A lot of great competition has bitten the dust. Coming through turn 3 and into turn 4, that outside cushion just grabs that wheel and then just throws these little cars up there into the banking of 3 and 4. Or up into the banking of 4, I should say. So turn 3, throwing them into turn 4. Unfortunately, that will probably end it there for Templeton. We'll see, though, as they're coming around here out of 3 and 4 now. Getting ready for the green flag. Templeton trying to beat them out. Will do so. Oh, no, he won't. He's there at the end. He'll end up back there at the back of the pack. Great job there. The green flag comes out. Terry Landis there out front. Templeton back out on track, but he's back there at the back. He's going to try to work his way up through. We'll see how far he can get in 5 laps. They work there off of turn number 4. Terry Landis back out front now. As we see Jack Hitt, he gets up there in the third. And we got a battle for 5th going on between Boyce and Dittmer. Jack Hitt still running that high side. He knows what it's like to grab that wall as it bit him a little bit. There he slides there underneath the trees. Can't quite get that pass to happen, and they roll through the backstretch. And his backstretch here at Weedsport's kind of a little bit odd as it's got a slight curve to it. Volusia's another one, if I remember correctly. It has a slight curve to the backstretch. I see Hitt trying to get underneath the Shreves through the corner. Having issues getting up there to it. I work there off turn number 4. Jack Hitt there in third. Randy Shreves there second. Working there off in the corner number 4 they go. Terry Landis out front. Randy Shreves there in second. Checkered flag for Terry Landis getting the win. Randy Shreves there in second. Jack Hitt in third. What a great night of racing it was for these midgets. Waiting for the official results to come in. As your results are in, here we go. Terry Landis getting the win. Randy Shreves there in second. Jack Hitt there third. Fat Boys in fourth. Brendan Titmer there in fifth. Brad White there in sixth. Brandon Thompson there in seventh. Sigmund Mixler there in eighth. Cale Bixler there in ninth. Stephen Marr there in 10th. All right, now we'll get with your winners here tonight. Jack Hitt getting your third place. Good evening here, Jack. How's it going? You there, Jack? Having issues here. Jack, can you read us okay?
I hear you now. Can you hear
All
me?
right, we got you. All right. Man, oh man, what a race tonight. I know you had issues there early on and then had to work your way back up through the field. Kind of take us through how treacherous these things were here tonight at Weedsport.
Yeah, that inside wall jumped right out in front of me there on the start, and I didn't expect it. I thought it was going to stay where it was, but it didn't. So that kind of put me behind the 8 ball with a little messed up front left, and ended up going in the pits there, and it was treacherous for sure. You know, good racing track. It was fun.
And I know some drivers, they were having issues with the turn 3 wall.
Yeah, there was one time I was running up there pretty high, and I had to get off of it quite a bit just to make sure I didn't catch the entrance there at the pits and everything. But it was different than most times. You know, I think normally when we're here, the bottom is really dominant, and I feel like toward the end of the race, the high side kind of comes in. But I think everybody was pretty much up top the entire feature this time, so we burnt it down even more.
Yeah, it was definitely a fun race to watch, and congrats for getting third place. You got sponsor shout-outs. Anybody you want to thank for getting third tonight?
Got to thank you for putting on the broadcast, everybody behind the scenes for Coast to Coast, all the guys that show up so we can have these fun races. Got to thank Regal Wrap and Designs for allowing us to have it broadcasted. And got to thank my wife for giving me time to do it. And just a quick shout-out about the Bill Calder Appreciation races next week. Hopefully we get a bunch of guys out there. Should be a good time.
Alrighty, well, congrats, and can't wait to see what goes on next week there, Jack, and you have yourself a great night.
Yeah, thanks, Adam.
All right, that's Jack Hitt, our third place finisher. Now we'll get with Randy Shreves. Once again, good evening there, Randy. Great run out there in the midgets.
Yeah, not too bad.
Well, you did a great job hanging on to that top side. I mean, that top side looked like it was kind of treacherous through 3 and 4.
Yeah, that's where I actually felt more comfortable is in 3 and 4. 1 and 2 is what kind of got me there, and I think that's where Terry got me. And I don't know, he started running that bottom. He's just awesome at the bottom, and yeah, that top just went away, and I don't think I had anything for him. I couldn't run the bottom.
It was definitely a fun race to watch nonetheless, and you did a great job, like I said, getting up there and getting that second place finish, running that top side. You got any sponsors, shout-outs, anybody you want to thank?
For sure, as always, Coast to Coast for putting on this awesome league, you for the broadcast, my son Dylan Shreves for painting my car, my buddy Mike McCoy, my buddy Jeff Spann and his wife, everybody for watching.
Alrighty, well, congrats, and you have yourself a great rest of your night there, Randy. Enjoy that second place here in the midgets.
Thank you.
All right, that was that. Now we get with Terry Landis. Terry, how's it going? I mean, up and down through the field a little bit tonight.
Yeah, Adam, that's pretty much fun, I guess.
Well, I mean, kind of take us through. I know there was a couple trouble spots that a couple of drivers had. I know Jack Hitt mentioned about the turn 1 wall down there on the low side, and then I know quite a few of them. I know Templeton was one of them that found out how treacherous that turn 3 wall can be.
That's what I was saying to the guys, that up in 3 and 4, it was really deceiving. You think you could get a good bite out there in the cushion, and it just sucked you right off the edge of the track. And then 1 and 2, yeah, that turn 1 wall is always a pain in the butt. You just gotta, watch your marks and try. I always try and slide all the way out to that Weedsport sign. I guess that's why it's there.
Yeah, but I know, like I said, 3 and 4, if driver got up on top of that cushion a little too far, that wall just grabbed out and just threw him into that turn 4 pit area.
Yeah, it was really treacherous up there. I tried to run like if I put my left front right around that the slick spot in the middle of 3 and 4, it just turned the car right around the turn for me.
You did a great job. Congrats on getting that victory. You got any sponsors, shout-outs, anybody you want to thank for getting that victory?
Oh, yeah, I want to shout out to you, Adam, for putting on Figure Farm TV. Regal Wraps Designs, if you want something really cool looking, give Regal Wraps a shout-out. C2C for giving us a place to race. All the admins behind the scenes get it done. Price Old Track Parts, bend some stuff, and they'll hook you up with some new stuff. Guys back KSR, give a shout-out to Blake. Galen's Home Brewing Popcorn, use the word cart and checkout. You got a 15% off. And my wife Judy and Jeter. And shout out to Bill. We're going to have a special race for him next week. So I hope everybody can be there.
That is true. And it's not just one race. I understand it's every night next week, starting Sunday.
Yeah. Yep, the whole week. Yep, should be fun.
Should be a great week, yes, for sure. So congrats again there, Terry. And you have yourself a great night. And we'll see you maybe on track tomorrow?
No, I'm done for the week now.
You're done for the week?
Yeah, cars stay in the garage for the rest of the week.
Alrighty, well, congrats, and we'll see you next week.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
All right, out with Terry Landis, your winner here tonight in the midgets. Great job there by that. And can't wait to see what we hold there coming forward. So, great job there. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next time.